In the headlines, gunmen shoot 3, abduct 1 female student in Nasarawa State. NCDC records 10 deaths, 210 new suspected cases of cholera. Tribunal strikes out petition against governor of Cross River State. Also in the news, at least 20 killed in Nagorno-Karabakh fuel depot blast as thousands flee. Well, hello there. Good evening and welcome to Trust News Update. I'm Abdullahi Ahmed. We begin in Nasarawa State as gunmen have reportedly shot 3 students of the Isa Mustafa Agwai Polytechnic in Lafia, the state capital, abducting 1 female student. The incident was reported on Monday evening, and details of the incident are sketchy at the moment. Elsewhere, hundreds of women on Tuesday in Panyam community of Mangu local government area of Plateau State have blocked the Jos Shandam highway in protest to the arrest of the district head and some residents of the area over the killing of a Fulani leader in the community. Adamu Idris was killed by yet to be identified assailants on Saturday while returning from a visit to the district head of the area. The women who blocked the road on Tuesday say they are protesting the arrest of members of the community by personnel of Operation Safe Haven, a security task force maintaining peace in the area. Now, the protesting women are calling for the release of arrested residents. Hundreds of vehicles were stranded on the road and some had to cancel their trip. Meanwhile, the leadership of Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association in Plateau State has made a statement regarding the killing of Fulani leader of Panyam district in Mangu local government area of Plateau State, who was killed on Saturday evening. Now, the death of the Fulani leader has reignited ethno-religious tensions, raising the temperature of insecurity across the plateau. Ado Musa has the latest.
There has been a series of clashes, mostly between farming communities and pastoralists in villages of Mangu local government area, where hundreds of people were killed. But recently, the area has been witnessing a gradual return of peace in some of the affected communities, following the effort of security personnel to restore peace and harmony between the warring parties. However, the killing of the Fulani leader of Panyam on Saturday evening has led to a widespread condemnations from different quarters in view of the fact that there have been relative peace in the area. The leadership of Magban in the state, while condemning the incident, explains how the Ardo of Panyam was killed.
September 2023 evening, when he visited the district head of Panyam from his refugee camp in Bauchi State with the aim of discussing peace process in the area. While with his brother in Mangu, he called the district head of Panyam and informed him that he is around. But while he arrived, he first visited the Sarkin Hausawa, after which he went to the district head palace, and from there the district head of palace was not there, and he came out to come back to Mangu, where he was attacked by some hoodlums, killed there and which up to today the dead body is not recovered.
The chairman of the group called on their members to remain calm as security agencies are on top of the situation, and called on the security personnel to intensify effort to recover the body of the deceased.
We are using this opportunity, this platform, to invite our people to peace processes. We are doing everything possible to see we recover the dead body of the Arro and give him a befitting burial of Islamic rites, and after which we are calling on especially the youths. They should calm down and give us the benefit of doubt, because the security are up and doing in the recovery of the dead body, and they vote that they will do everything possible to fish out the culprits and bring them to book.
Operation Safe Haven, a security task force in the state, has said efforts are being made to get the perpetrators of the dastardly act arrested and bring them to book. Meanwhile, the council chairman of Mangu, Marcus Atu, has condemned the killing and asked the security agencies to ensure that the culprits face the full weight of the law. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
Elsewhere, the Niger State government has on Monday commenced the profiling of miners across the state following complaints that miners were being extorted by bandits and terrorists to access mining sites in the state. Governor Mohammed Bago had on different occasions alleged that banditry in Niger State had persisted due to unchecked mining activities in the affected communities. The Commissioner for Mineral Resources, Garba Haya, told newsmen that a petition had been submitted at the ministry accusing miners of paying bandits to allow them access to mining sites. But the state chairman, Miners Association of Nigeria, Mohammed Mambo, who said the decision was a good step, disagreed that miners were paying bandits to access mining sites. He said 70% of Niger State residents, including women and children, were into mining as a means of survival due to the hardship and poverty across the state. Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, says the National Assembly must deploy its legislative powers and instruments to ensure security of lives and property is provided for Nigerians across the country. He made the remark in his welcome address to members of the House after their resumption to duty from their annual recess on Tuesday. He reminded members of the House of Representatives that there is enormous security challenges confronting the nation, which he said will engage the attention of lawmakers in the coming days and months. Abbas noted that national security remains precarious even in the face of numerous successes recorded by the nation's gallant security forces. Abbas said a similar incident happened in Shiroro local government area of Niger State when scores of soldiers were ambushed and gruesomely murdered by terrorists. Elsewhere, traffic flow across major roads in Jalingo, the Taraba State capital, was disrupted by truck drivers who left their heavy-duty trucks on the road, blocking access to township roads to the dismay of other road users. Now, motorists affected by the blockade, while expressing their dissatisfaction with the development, say law enforcement authorities should take action to forestall future occurrence. The report.
A few months ago, the roadblock area of the main motor park was the area that faced the challenges of the heavy trucks in Jalingo. After a report by shop owners and passerby, the Federal Road Safety Corps intensified effort and cleared the menace and also carried out a sensitization campaign within the area which yielded positive results. However, the Corps also confirmed that other places in the state capital have businesses like petrol station, cooking gas, plants and other inflammable substances that can easily cause fire accidents. He listed them to include Jalingo Main Market, Lamurde Roundabout, and Magway Bus Stop. Some shop owners and residents frowned at the attitude of those drivers and called for government intervention.
Trailers, they are not supposed to come to the town in the morning or in the afternoon. They're supposed to come in the night so that they will park properly, that they cannot able to intimidate those people that are fasting. You understand? Why? Because obviously used to have one at the cities, like Lagos, during Pashola, you understand? Trailers cannot come to the town. They have specific days and they have specific time. So we need government to schedule time that today trailers, they are available to come and they are not to come.
The trucks that usually pass here, somehow our plea is that if government can do something about it to help us, we will be so grateful, because here is populated with people, so it is a risk for them to be passing, like all this tanker that carries fuel and gas.
The Taraba State FRSC commander, Abdulmalik Dama Bello, stated that some of their patrol teams have confirmed to the agency that their patrol has extended to those places and that measures have been put in place to restore sanity. He ordered that heavy trucks should be parked in the newly constructed trailer parks in Fantinapu area of Jalingo in the daytime, while offloading should be done during night hours when people have deserted the market.
Yes, we are aware. We are even, let me be open to you that even recently I got a letter from the sister agencies notifying us about the grievances people are showing towards that. You see, When I was told of that trailers, some articulated vehicles will park anyhow, some people will drive in a manner that they will be driving against traffic. Let's put it that way. They told me, I sent my boys to go out and see what could be the reason why people choose to be parking vehicle by the roadside, particularly articulated vehicles. In the same country where people are disciplined, people go carry their vehicle, particularly all these old age vehicles, all these big vehicles, they have designated area.
He reminded the truck owners that defaulters will be sanctioned in accordance with the law.
Now, Africa heads of national drug law enforcement agencies are meeting in Abuja to find ways of mitigating drug trafficking and abuse across the continent by exploring opportunities for synergy and cooperation. Noel Samson has more on the story.
Globally, over 296 million people used drugs in 2021, an increase of 23% over the previous decade. The number of people who suffer from drug use disorders has skyrocketed to 39.5 million, a 45% increase over 10 years. These, among others, are the reasons for the 31st meeting of the heads of national drug law enforcement agencies in Africa being hosted by Nigeria in order to contribute their quota in the fight against illicit drug trade. Vice President of Nigeria, Kashim Shettima, who represented the President, Bola Tinubu, charges head of drugs agencies to chart a new course that will deal with this trans-border crime, which is a global problem.
This trade will have left cities, countries, and even civilizations erased. So I must commend you for your sacrifices in the bid to keep our world drug-free, sane, and safe. This conference emphasizes your investment across borders to protect us from the devastation of drugs, a threat that only submits to the enforcement of the law.
Honlia's commendable efforts in fostering regional collaboration, capacity building, and international partnerships have significantly contributed to the fight against drug trafficking in Africa, making the continent more resilient in combating this global challenge.
Chairman of National Drugs Law Enforcement Agency restates commitment of the NDLA to the fight against illicit drug in the country.
Nigeria will provide a platform for experts from all over the continent to address the world drug problem. I hope we will take advantage of the opportunities to forge new alliances that will be effective on the field and help tilt the balance in favor of our respective organizations.
It is now up to you as heads of national drug law enforcement agencies to accelerate efforts individually and collectively to fight the illicit drug trade, which remains one of the principal sources of income of transnational organized crime.
A report by United Nations Office on Drug and Crime in Nigeria indicates that 14.4%, that is 14.3 million of people aged between 15 and 64 years, abuse drugs, hence the need to address the situation. Noel Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Now, the Nigeria Center for Disease and Prevention Control has registered 210 new suspected cases of cholera and 10 suspected deaths across 8 states of the Federation from July 31st to August this year. The NCDC said this via its official website in its latest monthly situation report on cholera covering epidemiological weeks 31 to 34. Cholera is a bacterial infection caused by Bacterium vibrio cholerae that is primarily transmitted through contaminated water and food and is found in areas with poor sanitation and limited access to clean water. According to the NCDC, in 8 states that reported 210 suspected cases, Zamfara in Northwest topped with the infection chart with 190 cases, followed by Kano and Bayelsa with 7 and 5 cases each. Also, Bauchi, Niger, and Borno State reported 2 cases each, followed by Gombe and Adamawa State with a single case being reported. Right, you're watching the news update on Trust TV. Coming up ahead, we'll tell you about the age-long tradition of dumame as a go-to breakfast option. More on this and many other stories coming up ahead in just a moment. Stay with us. Welcome back to the news. Here's a quick reminder of our top stories at this hour. Gunmen have shot 3 and abducted 1 female student from Nasarawa State Polytechnic. NCDC records 10 deaths, 210 suspected new cases of cholera. To Gombe State now, where the Governorship Election Petition Tribunal is currently sitting to deliver judgment on the petitions filed by the candidate of the African Democratic Congress, ADC, Nafiu Bala, challenging the election victory of Governor Yaya Inua of the All Progressive Congress during the March 18 gubernatorial election in the state. The petitioner prayed the tribunal to nullify the election for non-qualification and non-compliance with provisions of the Electoral Act. The petitioner argued that the Gombe State Deputy Governor, Manasseh Daniel Jato, was not qualified to contest the election, and his disqualification would mean disqualification for the governor, as it is a joint ticket. And that development is still unfolding in Gombe State, and we'll bring you the latest as soon as we have more. Elsewhere, the Governorship Election Petition Tribunal in Cross River State on Tuesday struck out the petition of the People's Democratic Party and its candidate, Sandy Ono, against the election victory of Basio II of the All Progressive Congress as governor of the state. The tribunal judgment delivered by the 3-man panel dismissed the petition for lacking merit. The PDP candidate challenged the declaration of Otu by the Independent National Electoral Commission as the winner of the March 18 poll in the South state. The results announced by INEC put Otu's tally of votes at 258,619, while Ono polled 179,636. The APC candidate won in 15 local government areas out of the 18 local government areas declared by the Commission in Calabar, the state capital. Now, most graduates with a degree set their sights on searching for a plush white-collar job, which can guarantee a stable paycheck at the end of the month. Fatima Abdullahi, with her new degree in public administration, has decided not to go that route. Instead, she is going into the food industry to start a restaurant that specializes in traditional dumame, which is a popular delicacy across northern Nigeria. Here's Silas Lawan with more from Yola.
In case you missed the venue, once you step into Ganye Street of Jumeta, the aroma of Fatima's Baobab soap will drag you to the dumame spot. The local food seller Fatima said she ventured into the business since her graduation from the university after realizing white-collar jobs are not readily available. She was, however, quick to point out some of the challenges associated with food selling business.
I thought of different businesses after my graduation, but I started with rice and beans. And after an appreciable patronage from customers who are mostly from Gombe, Bauchi, Kano, and Jigawa, I discovered that the business was worth the while because I got new customers almost every day.
Dan muna bukata ya sa muka ce ta zo ta ringa yi mana. To cikin godiyar Allah kuma take yi saboda muna so kuma muna ci dan mu muna alfahari da haka.
We asked her to start the business, and before she realized, people accepted it. You have seen the number of customers and the caliber of people who buy dumame from this young girl. This patronage is not just for the sake of supporting her business. It's also because the food is nice.
A local food called dumame, it keeps the stomach stronger, heavier, more than this rice and beans. Because even formerly in colonial days, when we take dumame, we go to school. We are not feeling hungry until we close from the school. But nowadays, these boys of nowadays, they don't want dumame. But if you see now, majority of dumame will finish before anything. Because everybody wants to feed himself. So, to me, dumame is good.
Dumame is usually warmed up leftovers of tuwo from the previous night's dinner. These customers say nobody who has ever had the privilege of tasting the local food will tell you it is not tasty, as it tastes much better than the fresh batch.
So amma ina shi dumame nan yanzu kullu na ci shana ina kai karfe 5-6 wanda na sake shin wani karfe 6 kuma sai gobe.
Dumame is my favorite, and with this present economy, it has become more relevant because if you take it in the morning, you may not need any food in the afternoon.
Da rana ma zuwa yamma ruwa ne. Na taso har daga majalisa road ne ba kasa. Nake zuwa na kan cin dumame saboda dumamen nan na saba da shi. Tun tale kakannin mu wani lokaci mun.
I patronize her because dumame is what we grew up to meet, and she is doing it well.
Wasu
kalubale face da na fuskanta anan, wasu za su zo. Well, at first, I felt like quitting because of the challenges, especially with some people thinking that anyone in this business is a bad person, but I did not. Right now, I'm thinking of how to expand the business and not looking for a government job.
While encouraging her fellow youth to reduce their overdependence on government jobs, she called on members of the public to stop giving unpalatable meanings to food sellers or their business. Silas Lawan, Trust TV News, Yola.
Interesting developments. Now, let's take a look at developments on the international scene, where at least 20 people have reportedly been killed and hundreds others wounded in a fuel depot explosion in Nagorno-Karabakh amid an exodus of ethnic Armenians from the region following a lightning military offensive by Azerbaijan. The region's health department said 13 bodies were found and 7 people had died of their wounds after the blast outside the regional capital of Stepanakert, called Kakendi by Azerbaijanis, late on Monday. Now, it also says that 290 people have been hospitalized and dozens of patients remain in critical condition. The warehouse was used to give out fuel to those who wanted to leave the region by their cars. Hundreds of people were gathered there when the explosion took place. The National Security Advisor from Azerbaijan, Armenia, France, Germany, and the European Union, a special representative for the region, are scheduled to meet in Brussels later today, Tuesday. Well, that's it. You're up to date with the latest news stories at this hour. We'll be back with more news later at 6 o'clock. For now, feel free to follow us across our social media platform for more content and visit trusttv.com for more news. My name is Abdullahi Ahmed. Thank you for watching the news.